Hello and welcome to Come With Us, a podcast to meet all your fantasy needs. I'm Susie Nunez.
And I'm Reshea Kelly. And each week we dive into the tempting world of books, seductive romance, and a sprinkle of spice.
This one is Give Me More. This is my second favorite from the whole series.
You think? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because the characters are interesting, and of course, give me any poly white shoes situationship, and I'm gonna be there forever.
How do you do the hearts? Yes, agreed. I loved it.
So tell me, what is the book about?
Okay. Would you guys like another episode of Reshea's terrible book explanations? You didn't get a
Yes, we
chance.
love
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it anyway. All right. Give Me More is about Salacious Players Club owner Hunter Scott and his wife Isabel, who have been married for a decade. And their mutual best friend and default third wheel, Salacious Players Club head of construction, Drake Nielsen. The three set out on a cross-country road trip to check out other sex clubs for research. And on this trip, Hunter witnesses his wife and best friend participating in a Shibari demonstration and realizes he's definitely a fan. The next day, he decides to ask them to fuck each other in front of him over breakfast. The best time to do it, apparently.
It was so casual.
Not the best time to do it. Clearly, if you read the book, you would know.
Yeah.
The next, sorry. So he clarified that he knows it's called cuckolding, but that it's not about the humiliation for him, and that he's definitely straight until he isn't. But by the end of the trip, everyone's emotionally involved with everyone else, and Hunter still can't admit that he's bi, so he disappears, leaving Isabel and Hunter to live together for 2 months. Eventually, he comes back, everyone kisses, makes up, and the book ends right there. No epilogue at all. What epilogue? I certainly don't know what you're talking about. I didn't read an epilogue in which Isabel gets pregnant, because that would give me the ick, and we don't want that to happen now, do we?
Yes. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I fucking hated that the kids were Drake's.
Really?
Fucking hate it. No. It's just no. No.
The husband gets first dibs on that womb.
And not even that. It's just I'm a sucker for the character that feels a bit in the disadvantage. And in my opinion, Hunter was a bit on the disadvantage in so many ways. Yes, in so many ways.
All right, we can discuss that further.
Yes, let's start.
Okay, so in this book, we have some very different kind of kinks. As opposed to voyeurism and exhibitionism that we experienced in Eyes on Me, we have a cuck, bull, and hotwife three-way scenario. We have MMF, Shibari, thruple, impact play, because she likes it rough, baby.
Yes, we relate.
If you are curious as to what in the world cuck, bull, hotwife is, I'll let you know. So in a relationship, there are two people generally in this situation, a man and a woman. The man would be a cuck, the woman would be a hotwife, and this happens when they bring in a bull, which is a third man, to have intimate relations, wink wink, with said hotwife. Yes. So the introduction of the third man to have sex with the wife while the husband watches, or girlfriend, boyfriend, what have you, creates a cuck, hotwife, and bull situation. Granted, it does move from that to more of a polycule thruple situation once the main character realizes that he's got the feels for the dick.
I don't think Hunter was ever a cuckold, in my opinion.
I agree, because it wasn't about the humiliation.
No, and honestly, that has a lot to do with it. And if you're saying no, and like, I don't know, I think of course it was an excuse. He didn't know how to approach it, maybe, and it was like an excuse for him to be able to be the boyer of these two people that he wanted them to fuck, but he didn't know how to make them feel okay with it, because Isabel didn't want to,
Mm-hmm.
because he's the husband and he's the best friend, and even though they've been best friends for forever, 10 plus years now, it's like weird still. And I have a rule with my friends: we never fuck each other. Never. It's a thing that I've been doing for years, and I didn't do it before, and it ended bad. So, no. But yes, I don't think he was a cuckold ever. In
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just an excuse.
Mm.
What are your thoughts on Isabel in general in the whole book?
Here's one of those moments where it's beautiful that you read it and I listened to it because we will
Hmm.
have different opinions.
Yes.
I fucking hated her.
Hmm. Why?
And
Tell me.
that is because she had a very nasally voice.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, it drove me nuts that she was passive in so much of it for so long. And it
Mm-hmm.
almost seemed like she didn't have an opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She seemed very infantile to me, just very like naive.
She was just
And
like gray.
yeah, and I know that whenever we were in, what's his name, Hunter's POV,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "Oh, my wife likes it rough." Yeah, but she also has only ever had sex with you. So that's still okay, cool. She likes to get spanked a little bit. That does not mean that she's a kinky person. That doesn't mean that she's
Mm.
experienced or even considered experiencing anything of any other variety of flavors ever. And it almost seemed like she was just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll try it. Oh, yeah, no, that sounds fun. Let's try that.
Mm-hmm.
And it, I don't know. She just kind of seemed like like her character was there solely
As a
as
filler.
yeah, as like maybe like a plot device to bring
Mm, mm,
Drake
mm,
and
mm.
Hunter together
Yeah, yeah,
almost.
yeah, 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 totally. Same. I think she was so great and just like no personality. And if
Hmm.
you give me a character, especially the female, in a relationship with two men, you definitely need to have a personality, like a Rachel in Walking Around, or a
You gotta be able to
Jessica in
hold
The
your own.
Losers. Yeah, like you need to have power. You need to
Yeah.
be, that vibrant. And she wasn't. At least
Yeah.
she wasn't. No, not even at the ending of the book. Like she wasn't.
Yeah. What drove me nuts was that like Hunter left towards the end to go find himself,
Uh
as they
huh.
do.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that she and Drake lived together for months and
Thank
did
you very much.
nothing?
Thank you very fucking much.
What? No.
Listen, I get that you need to give space to people. I
Mhm.
get it's his time, not our time. I get it because I am him in so many ways in my life, in so many phases in my life. I get that. But they were married for 10 years. You were so okay with that man leaving the house for months and just sleeping with a friend and being with a friend and having a regular life with a friend. No, like, no, no, it's just no. And that's why I love Hunter so much. And I know he's not the best character ever, but I love him very much because I feel for him.
Yeah, everything you said, 100%. I heard all of it. I completely agree. I think the one thing that pissed me off about Hunter just skedaddling was the lack of communication involved. Because it was like
Yeah.
he comes back and he's like, "Yeah, I left you guys alone because I wanted you guys to like work on your relationship together because I think we all need to have meaningful relationships." Would have been nice if you'd told that to them because
Absolutely.
they were sitting there like, we shouldn't do anything because he specifically told us that we shouldn't do something without him knowing or watching or being a part of it. So we should not do anything, right? So let's just try to honor our friend. And then he comes back and he's like, "Oh yeah, you guys fucked that one time 2 weeks ago. Great job, A plus." And I'm like, that's not what you wanted.
No.
They didn't know that was what you wanted. There was this huge disconnect. And then for some reason, Sara Cate is a great author, but it felt like it didn't make sense that everybody was just okay. Because in real life, that's not how it would go. It would be like, hi, yeah, where the fuck did you fuck off to? Oh, you had an issue? Cool. You couldn't give me like a forwarding address or like let me know what the fuck was going on. You couldn't explain to
Absolutely.
me like what you wanted to happen, like what your expectations were. Like,
I have no idea if she is a poly person, if she ever has been in an open relationship, the author.
mhm,
But I feel like this is how you write polyamorous relationships when you have no idea how they are. Because okay, it's true that this could happen in a poly relationship because communication is key and a lot of people don't know how to communicate. We understand that. I get it 100%. But the way that everything developed, it was just, it didn't feel real. Like it's
mm-mm.
not how it would happen in real life. Because Isabel, being knowing her husband, being with him for 10 years, you think she's gonna, if she was a real person, she was gonna let him leave for like months and not be able to communicate or anything? No, fuck no.
No, she would have
No.
filed for fucking divorce. She would have been like, oh, he's been gone for 2 months. Let me contact my lawyer.
And he was staying like with Maggie, I think. It's like, you
Yeah.
fucking Maggie. You fucking Maggie. Because I don't understand that. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Also, I feel like this isn't the only book that Sara Cate wrote in this series that demonstrated a poly relationship, and in the
Mm-hmm.
other one, which we will get to eventually, calm down.
Someday.
Also is real icky in how the interpersonal relationships connect. The lack of communication, the going behind each other's back, and the lying,
Absolutely.
or at the very least, omission of truth. And then at the end, they're just like, well, let me explain it and it'll all be
Mm-hmm.
fine. And then
No, it's
everybody's
not.
fine
That's
and
not how it
happy.
works.
That's not how it works because you still broke someone's trust. It doesn't make sense and it's not realistic and it really bothered me
It's
a
like,
lot.
you know, when you read a smut, like male smut,
Hmm.
from an author that it seems like they have never watched gay porn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It felt that
Hmm.
way reading about their relationships in
Yeah,
this book and on the other one.
it felt like they had only a very surface understanding of what non-monogamy was, you know.
And us, and we, I think we are allowed to say this because Losers was a fucking PhD.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Beautifully written, everything from the communication to the different
Everything.
dynamics to the the ways in which non-monogamy can benefit and also have its drawbacks. It was so well explained.
It was beautiful, and I feel like okay, it's true. We shouldn't be comparing one book to the other or one series to the other, but at the same time, we're readers. We're gonna do that, and when you read something
Wait,
like
who said we shouldn't
Losers,
be doing that?
I don't know. I saw some
Fuck them.
like a few months ago. I saw someone on TikTok saying like, if you, well, I don't know why you're like what's the word that she used, comparing one series to the other, because you know authors are different. They write whatever they want, and I get that. But I'm going to do it because when you read something like Losers, that is so perfectly written in the way of how relationships work in that type of universe, when someone
Mhm.
is poly or they have a community of
Mhm.
relationships, and then you read something like this, it's like you don't get it, and if you don't get
Mhm.
something, you shouldn't write about it, you know.
Yeah. Or at least like talk to somebody who does and get their expert opinion.
I'm pretty sure Harley LaRue did that.
Oh, Harley either had to have gotten outside influence or I want to be them because they're living that life for real. I'm not
I
sure which
know
one it
her.
is.
I
Also,
know her.
Harley, if you're listening to this and feel like maybe being my best friend, just like let me know there's an opening.
A lot of openings. I can. open all of them for you. Okay.
I didn't mean it like that. Let's be honest. I
Okay.
just
What
need
is
a
the next
friend.
point? Oh my god.
Okay. Oh, the
Oh no.
Shibari demonstration.
Yeah, but wait. What are your thoughts on Drake?
Ooh, I have to think back for a second. The most golden retrievery boy I've ever seen in my whole life.
He's giving
And
Jake.
yeah, like it just tickled me a little bit that he was just like, "Oh, you want me to fuck your wife? That's weird, sure." Like he had a second of like, "Wait, what?" And then he was like, "All right. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
do it."
I'm down for
And
it. Yeah.
yeah, like the person who's just like, you live life once, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated it. It was a little bit of brevity that was necessary, and the fact that he was just never like ashamed of his sexuality, and he was okay with not putting a label on it. It was very progressive
Mm-hmm.
of him, and I loved that for somebody who was so on the outside stereotypically masculine.
I had no idea that he was bisexual until they said it.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I don't think he would even call himself bisexual. He's just like, I like sex. I like people. That's fine.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
I like the way that they portrayed him in the previous books. It was always
Oh,
women, women,
total like
women. You know?
womanizer. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
it's like, okay, this guy can fuck anything, so that's great. We love it, but I had no idea, and I didn't like that. I
Hmm.
definitely didn't like that because if you are that person, why are the other books not, you know, correlating with this one? Like it was weird to me. Like why I didn't know this before?
Yeah.
When what was the name? When Emerson was talking with Charlie about him, he's like, "Oh no, be careful with him." But never, no, nobody said anything about him fucking guys. So
Yeah.
it was weird. It was weird to me. It was a bit inconsistent for the
It
story.
seemed a little bit like, let's sprinkle some LGBTQ representation in at the last second.
Absolutely. Now, when we realize that he also loves Hunter since he remembers, I love that because I know how that is and I know how that feels. And you can love someone and be in a relationship with someone and never be with someone from the other sex or the same sex. Sorry. I get that.
Hmm.
I get that. But it's just a bit, it felt weird. Like the whole relationship,
I felt
it
fabricated.
was, yeah, it just,
It didn't feel
okay.
organic.
It didn't.
Yeah.
And then Isabel having no personality made it worse. Because if you
Yeah.
put someone like Drake with the female equivalent of him, fuck yes. But no.
Also, explain to me how, and I did listen to the audiobook, so there's a chance that I got this wrong. She and Hunter
Mm-hmm.
like met before she turned 18,
Yes.
and he had to have already been 18. I thought he was older. I thought he was like early 20s when they got together.
No.
But I guess I was wrong because I did try researching it. But he like waited until her 18th birthday to like go down on her or something like that, or give her a little bit of a
I think they have like 3 year difference or
tickle.
something like that.
But I mean, if there's like a 3 year difference, that means she was 17 and he was 20, and he was grooming her until she turned 18 and then was like, okay, I can fuck you now because it's legal, which is also a bit morally gray for me. But also, I got distracted and stopped researching. But what I last saw was that they were just about the same age. So maybe that
No,
wasn't it,
yeah.
but
No,
it
no, no.
felt icky when I read that paragraph. I was like, ew, what? Wow.
No, I don't think there was any grooming situation. He was stalking her in the sense of
Oh,
he
he just
will
saw
walk
her at the library.
he will walk her and all of that like from a distance.
Hmm.
We get that. But I don't think he was no, they were like either the same age or like 1 or 2 years older. I don't remember. But yes, also Isabel being a smut lover, fuck yes. But you're not freaky
I
enough
forgot
to be
about
a
that.
smut lover.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
She was not freaky enough. And honestly, if you read smut, at least the kind that we do, you should be
Hmm.
freaky as hell in bed. And she was not.
I mean, I do get that she was open to trying things, which sounds about right.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people who read smut and they're like, well, I've never tried it before, but if the opportunity presented itself, yes,
Mhm.
sign me up. Like, I do
But
get
it's like,
that.
but us, like we ask our partners, like let's try
Hmm.
this, let's do this. Like, what do you think about that?
But yeah, like
She's just no
she
fucking
doesn't come to Hunter.
personality.
She doesn't come to Hunter and is like, hey, look, listen, I was reading this book. Can we reenact this?
No.
You've been with that man for a decade and you don't have the balls to ask him, hey, can you just strap a pair of bat wings to your back and put these fangs in your mouth? And
Or,
then,
or hey, let me peck you.
wow,
Like,
way to just take it so far in the other direction.
dude, it's 10 years. Let me fucking peck you. Like, what are you talking about?
And I've been married for 9 and I haven't pegged my husband yet. So
You should.
he's gonna be like, you know what? I take it back. I'm gay now. And just leave me.
No, don't say that. No, no, no.
I'm
Okay, go
kidding.
back.
I'm kidding. He would never. The Shibari scene was probably
Mm-hmm.
some of the hottest steam I've ever experienced. The way
Really?
that, I mean, maybe not literally, but I do remember reading it and going like, oh dear God, the way in which I wish something like this would happen to me, where it's like towing the line of like, oh, what are we supposed to do? Say no? I guess we're just gonna help. And oh,
Mm.
they're just assuming that we're partners. That's not what, oh my goodness. And then just like you're like, what were we supposed to do? Say no? Hot. Just super duper hot.
It was hot. It was hot. It was hot. I'm not into Shibari as I think you are then, but
uh
yeah.
I think it can be fun. I
No,
don't.
it is. It definitely is. I went to a party
Oh
recently.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it is. Like I've done it before. I have done it to other people before too. But it's like, I don't know, because you have to love it, in my opinion, for you to actually enjoy it and give it to the people, like actually have
Yeah.
fun. I don't find it as amusing as maybe watching someone or doing something else. You know what I mean?
I think there's something beautiful and artistic about it.
It is very
Um,
beautiful and artistic.
and I do understand the eroticism of feeling the weightlessness of like hanging.
Mm-hmm.
I do understand how that can be arousing, like feeling like you're not touching the floor, you're completely suspended. My hips are too bad. I'm too old for some of those things, and it causes me extreme pain. So it's like great for other people, but if we could get like an orthopedic
What about not
situation
hanging,
going.
but like just doing the knots and all of that?
I think the hanging is what really like the free, what's it called? Like where you're not like on the floor and you're just like kind of hanging there. That is what I appreciate most about
Mm,
Shibari,
okay.
not the binding. And I don't have a problem with binding as long as I'm bound in a comfortable position.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand what you're saying. I love that you like that. It's nice. I think the author did a good job in that scene because you feel like it's so hot and oh my god, it's kind of like forbidden.
The VIP room for 500, Alex.
VIP room. Remind me because I'm a bit lost.
So they go to the VIP room at that one club that's not SPC because they're in, I want to say Nashville.
I think it's
And
Nashville. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they go out onto the dance floor together and she's like sandwiched. She's the ham in this hot man
Oh
sandwich.
yes, 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 yes.
Hmm. And
Mm-hmm,
there's
mm-hmm.
just some deliciousness and then there's the just a little bit of grazing. It's nice.
Yes, that was nice. That was nice. That was nice. Again, those scenes could have been so much better if she was, and I'm gonna say this till the day I die, Rachel from Pucking Around.
Mm.
Because Rachel
Question.
was a crazy bitch. What was it?
She was crazy, yes. Question for you. How did you feel about the scene where Hunter is in the dark room with Drake?
When Drake
And
sucks him?
then Drake sucks his dick, and then Hunter just straight up is like, fuck off, and disappears.
I understand Hunter in so many ways
Mm-hmm.
because when you don't know who you are and you start realizing who you are and what you like, that
Mm-hmm.
is a shock.
Yeah.
So I understand him. And I
I get it,
totally
yeah.
get how Drake felt after. I totally get it too. Like he was hurt. And I
Yeah.
understand it. I
I
get both of them.
I loved that scene so much because it was one of the more raw, like
Mm-hmm.
emotionally raw scenes
Yeah.
that we have read thus far in this series. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it gets that emotionally raw again until Madame.
Maybe some parts or one part in Mercy.
Okay, yes.
When he's
Maybe one
fucking
part
her, you remember like
when
all
there's
of
the role
yeah.
reversal,
Yeah.
yes, to an extent, but it like also, and I don't mean dirty in like a sexy way, but like dirty in like there's no finesse, there's no, it's
Mm-hmm.
not curated, it was very ugly
Mm-hmm.
and vulnerable, and I was just like, wow, that it doesn't happen often that at least in this series that it
Mm-hmm.
feels like there's a sexual encounter that wasn't that great but still equally important to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked that scene so much, and I love the reaction of both parties at
Hmm.
the beginning, at in the middle, and then at the end. And I
Hmm.
understood how they felt weird after it as
Yeah.
friends, because that is a line that after you cross it,
Can't go
there
back.
is no going back. It's never gonna be the same. And it can be in a great way or it can be in a very bad way, and in this case it was in the middle of it. Yes,
It was
yes, yes.
bad and then it was great.
Yeah,
um
it took the
but
time to be great, but yes.
and that's on therapy. All right, Susie, what would you rate this book? Give me more.
Even though it's like my second favorite because it's
Hmm.
the only actual white shoes that I liked from this series,
Hmm.
um I will give it 2.5.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
um I gave it a 3 out of 5. I did just change my answer
Mm-hmm.
because I've had time to let it marinate. uh I think a lot of the reason that I'm not giving them higher scores is
Mm-hmm.
because while I do like the premise of the stories and the smut is very well written, it's very hot,
It's good.
I don't know if Sarah Cate is the author for me exactly.
Yes.
And
Absolutely
that,
get that.
and I'm not saying that she's not a talented author. I'm
No.
just saying that her writing doesn't resonate as well with me because she focuses on more of the, like, she glosses over the hard parts of a relationship and a
And
lot of
we
the internal
love
work.
that.
And that's the thing is, yeah, as a fellow trauma baby, you and I both understand, like, you have to the peace sign. What a millennial.
I know.
Um
Yes, we are. Uh-huh.
we just, you can't just pretend those parts don't exist, you know?
Mm.
And
Mm.
I think that that's what kind of, it got a higher rating for me than Eyes on Me did because it did address some internalized homophobia and things like that. But I
Mm.
was really disappointed with how he came back after being gone for months and everyone was just like, oh, thank God you're back. We missed you. And I was like, what? Where's the serious conversation that needs to be had?
That was the part for me that ruined this book specifically,
Hmm.
because the homophobia, the trauma with the dad and all of that, I loved it. We need that
Hmm.
in the book. We need the substance, the
Hmm.
substance for the book to be good, for us keep wanting to read.
Yeah.
But then you give me something like it's the same. I think what it is with the series for us, all of the climaxes are not climaxing.
Yeah. Yep. It's very much like I wrote this book to give you a happy ending. It was essentially porn.
Yeah,
Like
with a bit of a
the
story.
it exactly like it's porn that women watch. Like just enough of a story to where you can
Yeah,
like get into it, but it's still porn.
yeah.
And I don't think
And
that
there's nothing
that
wrong
that's
with
bad.
that.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel the same way about Ice Planet Barbarians. It's great for the purpose that it serves.
Yeah,
Um, I think maybe I was just not in the mood for,
just porn.
skipping the first 10 minutes of the video and getting to the fucking like I
Yeah,
wanted more backstory and character development.
absolutely. And what you said about Sarah Kate maybe not being like your author, 100%. I get that. There are authors that scar you, scars you, scarred you, scar. How do you say it?
That scar you?
Scarred you.
Well,
That
scarred is
sounds,
past tense.
yeah, scarred
Yeah,
you.
there are
Yeah,
authors that scarred you.
yeah. Thank you very
Hmm.
much.
It's fine, but now that you're making me say it, it does sound weird.
It sounds weird.
It's like I'm trying to say scared with a weird accent.
It's so
I'm
weird.
I'm
I know.
scarred, babe. Nar.
Nar. They're authors that scarred you in so many ways, and we
Hmm.
have a few of them. We love them. We will definitely go back to them in so many ways, one way or another. There are other authors that you read them, you say, interesting, and you move on.
Yeah.
This series, for I think both of us, was like that.
Yeah, and that's fine. We can't only cover books that we think are perfect.
Yeah,
I
and we're not saying these books are not perfect. These
mean, they're
book probably
super
have like a
popular.
fandom and people that go insane for them. Heck, fucking yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But we need trauma, like actual trauma. I love trigger warnings, and I don't feel like these books have trigger warnings. If you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Oh yeah,
And
it
we
was
love
a
a book
very
like that.
fluffy. It's a fluffy
Yeah,
book.
yeah, it's a book that you will read in between trauma and lots of trauma. You will put that in the middle just because you need
Yeah.
something a bit more relaxing.
It makes me think that these are exactly what you would categorize as a beach read. Like
What is that?
a beach read. It's like
Uh-huh.
you just want to sit on the beach, you want to enjoy yourself. You don't
Oh,
want to
a
be like
beach
in your
read. Okay,
feels.
okay. I
You don't
okay,
want to
okay.
be crying, you don't want to be having a bad time. You just want to enjoy yourself. It's an interesting enough story that it keeps you that you're not bored by it, but it's not making you think too much because you've had 4 Mai Tais.
Exactly. And I love a book that is gonna make me think.
Hmm?
I love a
Yeah.
book that makes me go like when you're reading, where is it? I don't have my books here. But when you're like reading and you read something, you're like, I love those. And
Yeah.
I just didn't feel that with this. And there's nothing wrong with the author. There's nothing wrong with the books. I know people that go fucking crazy for this series, and I love that for you. But this is a podcast where we're not getting paid yet to lie. So this is it.
The second an author wants to pay us for a fake ass review, you let me
Yeah.
know. I have no morals. I have no ethics. I'm a terrible person, and I am okay with that now.
We have two more books to go. I know. I know.
We're getting
We have
there.
two more books.
Short episodes. And then, hey, let's let everybody know
Mm.
what we're going to be covering after that so that if they want, they can read too and then be aware of what we're doing.
Dude, I don't know why we haven't done this before.
I have no fucking idea.
We're doing not right now, but we're gonna be doing Crescent City, the three books. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but we're gonna do it. Pucking Around by Emily Rath. If you know, you know. Ice Planet Barbarians.
Mhm.
Um,
Butcher and Blackbird.
we need to do that. And we probably should be covering. We don't want to give you the title yet because we have to decide. But like a thriller slash suspense type of book because we want something not maybe spicy, but like like oh my god.
Perhaps
Ooh,
the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series.
yes. We're gonna be doing these books next, so I'm excited about that. After doing all of these books, I feel like I've been taking a break from smut since January. I
Mhm.
haven't read anything smutty. but I think it's good to palate cleanse sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I
And
absolutely
maybe
agree.
this could help us. Besides
I
you
agree.
reading Crescent City 3 and being in the middle of it and still nothing happens. Yeah.
It's a slow one. I'll say that much because you can't get enough of us. Go ahead and follow us on at Come With Us Pod on all socials. Be sure to find all the links for Come With Us at comewithuspod.com and leave us a 5-star review. And if you like this episode, please send it to your fellow smut lovers. We would love you forever.
Please go and review this podcast.
Get
5
it
stars.
together.
Thank you. We love you. Do it right now. You just did
Do you
it.
need us? Do you need us to threaten
Great.
you with punishment? Is that the kind
Do
of
it, do
people
it,
you
do it,
are?
do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it.
Don't make me come over there.
Ugh. Stop. My panties! I literally just took a shower. What are you doing? Now I have to take it again. Okay.
My bad.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the links are gonna be on our website, or if you go to our socials, the link, everything is right there. Sinners, you've been good little angels. We love you so freaking much. And remember, stay wicked, stay wild, and keep reading. We love you. Bye.